So, one of my audience members talked to me a little bit about some possibilities about a new Arkham game or a remaster of the Arkham games coming soon. Suspicious Tension, shout out to you. You sent me a message and we've been having this conversation back and forth regarding, different IPs that may receive a remaster. And, I've been paying a little bit of attention online just to see if we get any other hints or something. But I don't know if I'll call this a hint, but I was just perusing around the webs and on Twitter, Warner Brothers Games UK and Ireland put a little GIF for Batman in Arkham Knight. Basically, it's just a small meme. It says, slamming down that smoke pellet like a boss, what might Batman be muttering while chucking this down? Now, this is just this particular Twitter account. Once in a while, they'll post some really funny stuff surrounding games that, they're promoting. Sometimes they'll do some really cool stuff. They'll put new games. They'll put old games. They'll go back in the day. They'll, basically keep doing this. But it appears to me that this is not their only post. This says that was too easy. Someone needs to update their security protocols. They went ahead and also posted here just yesterday as well, something regarding Arkham Knight. Could this be, and this is just a could this be that they're probably teasing or building up to a possible announcement of a remaster for the Arkham games showing up pretty soon? The answer is possibly yay or even possibly nay. But we'll just lean with we don't know for now, but it's nice to see that, the Arkham games still dwell in the minds of the, marketing team, at least. I don't know if the publishers or the developers are doing anything with it, but it's quite established that this is actually, in my opinion, one of the better games that has been made in the superhero genre. I strongly believe that a remaster serves a specific purpose, and bear with me. As much as I was like, well, a remaster is probably something that's going to run at high frame rates. The PC version of Gotham Knights already does that. All that they can do is basically go ahead and unlock the game, allow for it to run at 60 FPS on the current consoles, which I think is probable or, possible in a high, possibility anyways. But this remaster is going to allow for them to be able to take advantage of what's going on right now, where a lot of different companies are doing remakes or remasters of their games. This is definitely something that I think studios who have made landmark games can benefit from. I'm not saying they should all be doing it, but if you need some goodwill after you've just had a very interesting set of, things go on with, say, one of your video game reveals, then I'm sure that you can pretty much use, a little bit of that pick me up called, a remaster of a very, very popular game that a lot of people liked. Many of you know what I'm talking about. The Suicide Squad fiasco was there. Warner Brothers, Studio Rocksteady pretty much got the hard end of the stick when it came to gamers criticizing what it is that they saw. However anybody feels about the gameplay that was shown and so on and so forth, everyone's got their opinions about it. But I have to say, overall, it didn't necessarily seem like, this was the best reception that you could find out there. In fact, the amount of vitriol that this gameplay got, I wasn't surprised. Don't get me wrong. I was not surprised. In fact, I predicted that this was going to happen, judging by how gamers, pretty much pooped on Gotham Knights, even though Gotham Knights is not a live service game. Just the fears of a lot of gamers, pretty much. A lot of gamers were afraid we're going to see another live service game with this old, Gotham Knights thing, and then seeing it in Suicide Squad kind of really rendered a lot of people speechless for the most part. So if they want to drop this live service game, I think this might open the conversation for this particular, remaster to happen. Now, remasters are just not necessarily going to be one of those things where they go ahead and just, slam a bunch of assets and, pretty much go ahead and clean up a few things. They'll have to make significant changes that make the remaster worth buying, and even to sell it to people like those who've played the game on PC, where you can play it as high as 90, 200 FPS and so on and so forth. So it might take something where they're actually moving, more than just the needle to make specific changes, significant changes that will make that remaster stand out so that people who want to play the game can enjoy it. I think even if they don't even necessarily do too much of an overhaul, just getting the game itself and even the previous Arkham games like Arkham City and maybe Arkham Asylum to run at such frame rates, maybe tweaking some of the, models and some of the assets and making them high quality is probably going to serve the console community who have only played these games in 30 FPS, whereas on PC, you've been able to play that at 60 FPS for the longest time. I think this is probably going to open the door for the conversation to say, okay, maybe if you want to launch a live service game and we're getting a remaster, this is something that might go ahead and work for the, for a goodwill type, I don't know, a good measure of faith, anyways, to be received from the gaming community, because right now the conversation is actually really, really, starting to, I don't know, dwindle down when it comes to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League as to anybody wanting to deal with that game. But I think if they're able to remaster the Arkham games, they can pretty much get something going with the conversation. They can get the community saying, well, if you're not going to remake another Batman game, maybe a remaster or maybe a remake will probably be something that we can deal with, because many other studios have done it. Naughty Dog made The Last of Us, The Last of Us of The Last of Us of The Last of Us. And so I don't think anybody will be against making, a remake of the Arkham games. But that's pretty much my, analysis and my assessment. Let me know your thoughts in the audience, in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining into this conversation. You guys are a very cool audience. I appreciate you guys so much, and we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.